Rovan is here. So Rovan is actually from the Caribbean,
Oh wow. Okay.
and he wanted to bird dog and don't know where to start or which state to start. So he already knew the concept of bird dogging, but he was asking me which state is best for a newbie to start. And I was basically saying it's really a personal choice. Like start with one first as a newbie or maybe three maximum. I don't know. What's your thought on it?
One. One. Always stay to one. Yeah.
Hey Marquise, welcome.
Does
Yo,
his
what's
audio
up,
work?
guys?
Oh, we got
Yes,
one
sir.
person. Wow. We got one audio that works. Congratulations.
Oh,
That's
dang.
so
What's
fun.
up, y'all?
You win 5 minutes. Okay. Tell me how's everything? Marquise, what do we have? Where are we at?
So I went to go get that business. It was really good. Had a great conversation with the seller.
Yep.
He told me that he didn't want to list it up until we had a meeting because we've been talking for a while. He showed me more about the business. I met some of the employees. Everything was great, right? And I guess I just panicked because towards the end of our 4-hour conversation at the shop,
Yep.
he told me what he wanted down. We finally got to the nitty gritty, start talking numbers. He said he wanted 100 grand down. I froze up. I was like, yo, I ain't gonna lie, bro. I don't want to waste your time. I don't got 100 grand down. And I don't know how to get 100 grand down either. And he said, no problem. You know, just save up a little bit money. And then, if it's something that you want to get later on, if it's not sold, then we can work something out. And so
Yep.
I said, okay, cool. He said he wanted 100 grand down and then $2,000 a month, which would have been our deal.
$100,000 down. Hey, what was
Yeah,
what was the what was the asking
250.
for the business?
Yeah, for the assets. Yep.
Okay. And was the property still having a lease on it on top, or does he own the whole property?
No, there was still a lease on the property.
So it's 2,000 plus the lease that's in place.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
So how much is the lease?
8,000,
So we're talking 10 grand a month.
pretty much.
Okay. And how much does it bring in?
It brings him. He said so. He told me off the books some stuff he puts and some stuff he puts on the books. He said he makes about 10 grand on the books and then about four off the books.
Okay. So now you go and ask him and you say, how are you supposed to make 10 grand on and off the books to even cover the payments? Why are you going to take over a business that's going to bring you into a negative? You just have to let him know that you're already being set up to fail with his
Right.
terms, right? So why
Right.
would you want to take over someone's business that is already going to be in a negative for you, right? So he already knows that the lease is $8,000 and he's asking you for another two. That's pretty much what he brings in, and that's probably on a good month, right?
Yeah.
So you have to have him justify as to how does that make sense? How is that supposed to work? And then you ask him, if you were to pay $10,000 a month, would you still be here? Right?
Right. Right. Because he told me, and I don't know if the numbers made 100% sense after we kind of went over everything, but he told me the lease is already like I guess the business makes about 300 a year in revenue. He told me that's pretty much basically all expenses included. That's what he walks away with is 14 after like lease payments. He said he pays the employees under the table, et cetera, et cetera.
Yeah, yeah. That's okay. That's fine. But again, you have to justify as to how you're gonna get the money to pay for his terms and the lease in place, right? So the deal's not dead because he's already given you terms, he's already given you numbers. So that just means you're in
Yeah.
negotiation. Now you just got to go back, right?
Right. Well, I did hit him up again. 'Cause I did talk to Minnie that probably like a couple days after, and he
Yep.
said he has a potential buyer right now for the
They
business, and
always
so
they all say that.
yeah.
Just like when you go to buy a house, the realtors are gonna say, we have other offers being submitted today, so we need your offer to come in. And at the end of the day, they have no other offers. That's just a
Right.
tactic that they have. That's everybody does that. That's just a sales thing, right?
Urgency.
So that's what you got to do is say, okay, no problem. Unfortunately, I don't think I'm going to be your buyer, and I hope all the best. Done. And then he'll come back to you because he has no buyer. That's that you
Right.
can't you can't show him that you are still like in a desperate need. If you show that you want this business and you're literally not pushing back whatsoever, he's gonna keep coming at you, and he's always gonna have the ball in his court, right? Now that he gave you terms, he
Right.
gave you numbers, you know that's not gonna work. He knows that's not gonna work. So take a step back. Let it sit for a little bit. Let him reach out to you, right?
Yeah.
If you stay
Yep.
quiet, he's gonna reach out to you to tell you, hey, just an FYI, I have somebody interested. I just want to know if you're still open to it before I go and accept this offer. I just want to let you know. And that's right there's when you say, unfortunately, with the numbers that we have been discussing, I don't think this is gonna be for me. But I wish you all the best, and so be it. That's it. And then just follow up with me if the deal does fall through, and maybe we can renegotiate. But as of right now, I don't think this is gonna work out for me. And we'll leave it at that.
Yeah, I'm gonna
Okay?
do that. Otherwise, I've been just looking at other businesses. But yeah, I'll do that for sure.
That's it. Don't ever sit on just one. Just go on to the next. Don't waste your time on one. All
Yeah.
right?
So what I said to Marquise was also when someone asks you for money, don't panic. Like you have us, you have a community here.
Yep.
So talk to Sergio.
Money is never an issue. Don't ever let the money push you away from a deal. Ever. Ever.
Yeah. Say, I'll come back to you.
Yeah,
Like buy
exactly.
some time. I would say take a 2 seconds breather. Say that, you know what, let me talk to my business partner, even if you don't have one. I'll talk to my business partner and then I'll come back to you. Give me a few days or so. So then that buys you time to come to us and see how we can help you. And then also, as Sergio was saying, this deal may not be actually a good deal if the numbers in the red, right? So if you
Yeah.
give us more insight, we could give you further points to discuss with them, or even have Sergio or Jameer on the call to talk to them. And if you have any roadblocks, just know that always remember you have us now as a team, then we can help you out if you run into any obstacles. Talk to us first before you make any decision. If it's a bad deal, we will tell you that don't go with it. Or maybe Sergio will have a way for to creatively structure a deal.
Yeah.
So then you
Okay.
don't lose on anything good. Or if it's a bad deal that if Sergio can't make it happen at his level, if he doesn't think it's a good deal, we would want you to walk away as well, unless you want to take the risk.
Right now, for sure. I appreciate that.
Yeah. So just bear that in mind. Don't ever make decision on the spot.
To answer Chris's question is asking, what if the seller asks what would work for you on terms? So if the seller is asking you, okay, and he wants to know, okay, what would work for you, what terms? If it's your first time talking to the seller in regards to the numbers, don't ever give them a number the first time. Don't, because you don't know what it's going to generate without underwriting it, without actually reviewing things. If the money's not coming from you personally and you have to go and get it from a lender, you don't know what that rate is. You don't know what the terms are going to be, right? So you can't justify of how much uh you don't know how much you can bring to the table. You don't know what the terms would be because you still have to figure out what the lender's terms are going to be, right? So it's you have the lease in place, you have the seller finance in place, and now you have the PMP or the PMLs monthly payments in place. That's three payments, right? So you got to take that into consideration. Um, Hopefully that answered your question there, Chris. But yeah, when it's the first time, I would just suggest not to ever talk about terms or numbers, um, just because you may say something that might bite you in the butt later on. But you can always just say things where I don't know right now, but I'm happy to take this back to my team and underwrite this and just see if this can even work for us. If it does, I will be more than happy to give you a few options. And always say a few options. Never give one. I always give a few.
Sure.
And
Okay?
Sergio, Chris actually brought a deal to me as a money lending, but then essentially this party didn't provide any terms. It's just like this is the buying price, this is what the seller is giving, but they didn't give us terms. So I in turn asked him to get back to the person to say what percentage are you offering? What is the return period? Like as in how fast is the money going to turn around? Is it going to be on closing or is it going to be 2 weeks? So what are the questions that he should be asking the money borrower? Um, then he can just send over the list.
So so he's borrowing money.
I do have people that does lend money. That's about it. But each person lends under a different category, how they actually call out their terms and what they and the states that they do lend in.
Okay.
So that's just where I'm stuck at right now. And I don't got like one that I can actually just go to personally and just keep on bringing all these type of leads to. I just got to basically go down the list on saying, hey, y'all think y'all can help me out on this, and this is what this person's looking for and asking for, and this is just the information that I got so far.
Okay. So are you wholesaling? Are you just bringing deals to
People,
lenders?
yeah, people just coming to me and saying, "Hey, can you help me out? I'm looking for a lender or a private money partner in something," and that's basically how it's just going. And just coming straight out the blues. You know, I'm just like,
Okay.
dang, I'm actually getting more of these than I can actually look
So
up
people are
deals
asking
for
you
my
for
actual
help
life.
on getting some
Correct.
lending for deals.
Correct.
Okay. Do you have lenders?
I got a few. Some of them just don't go low under 20, 50 grand or 75 grand.
They're coming to you for entry fees.
Basically, yes.
Yeah. So those are hard. The reason why those are hard because those typically will have to go in second lien position. Right, because there's going to
Okay.
be the mortgage in place, which is the first lien, and you can't push that out, right? So sub two
Correct.
deals, essentially, when they're asking for the entry fee, you're just taking over the existing mortgage. That existing mortgage stays in first lien position. So if you don't have that liquid cash to bring as the entry yourself, and you're having to go borrow that, well, that has to go a second
Yeah.
lien position. There's not a lot of lenders that typically do that. Like there's many, many, many lenders. It's just there are so many different ones when it comes to the requirements. So
Yeah.
what I would
Okay.
suggest that you do, okay, if you have all these different lenders in place, create an Excel sheet, okay, and put each
Okay.
lender's company name on a spread, and you literally ask them, say, hey, listen, I have people coming to me for lending, and I just want to know is what your requirements are, what the minimum is, what do they need um, for non-foreigners, for Americans, do they have to have good credit scores? Do you
Oh,
guys lend on people that don't have credit scores? Um, like
okay.
there's a lot of things. So start asking is for people that have good credit, okay?
Yeah.
And ask all those stuff, right? And then the people that don't have good credit, which typically the people that are asking you for lending is the ones that can't go to the bank and get normal lending is because their
Yeah.
credit's not good. So you just ask, what are the requirements for someone that doesn't have the greatest credit score? I can already tell you right now, they're going to tell you that they need a credit sponsor. That credit sponsor is going to have to be a guarantor on the actual loan. They're going
Okay.
to have credibility. So there's all these things that are going to take into place. But again, I'm just saying what I know from my lenders and their requirements. Your best bet, if people are coming to you asking lending, lending, you just create a
Yeah.
chart, okay? And organize yourself based on the requirements for each lender. So that when someone asks you and say, hey, I have a deal that I'm looking for 100K. Well, you should already have in your Excel sheet ones that don't lend anything under 100K, right? There's going to be ones that won't even lend for under 250K. The pool's very small. People don't like to lend small portions, but there are people that will do it. Typically, those are private money partners that will lend small just because they just want a quick return. People won't really lend small portions like less than 100 grand because it takes long. It takes time to pay that back. They don't want to wait. They just want their money back quickly. Transactional lenders, they will typically lend small amounts. Are you familiar with transactional funding?
Uh, Not really. I'm still on the process of that.
That's all good. So transactional funding are lenders who typically will fund the like gap lendings or gap funding.
Oh,
So let's say you use like a DSCR loan, right?
okay.
Okay, those lends are typically only on investment properties. They're not your typical standard traditional mortgages. They're
No.
they're specific for investment properties. So they go based on market rents for that property. Going back to what I was saying about transactional funding, gap funding is DSCR loans, they typically lend on let's say 75% of LTV, loan to value. Okay. Where you're gonna go and get the rest of the 25% to close. Well, that's where your transactional funding comes in place, and you go and get a transactional fund to bring the 25% into closing. Those are the people that will typically lend those small portions. It all depends on what it is that these people are coming to you for, whether it
Yeah.
be gap funding, whether it be um, entry fees, all that kind of stuff. There are lots of lenders out there. We have the connections for it. Whatever it is that you need, I can definitely be the resource for that. But to answer what you're coming to Mini for, start with an Excel sheet. Organize yourself, get yourself situated with all these lenders. Don't overwhelm yourself with 10. Just keep it small, keep the relationships tight because your
Okay.
goal is to make your lenders money. All right? If you make your
Right.
lenders money, it's going to give you more business. They're going to start reaching out to you and ask you, "Hey, do you have any more deals that we could lend on?" Because you've been making them so much money. Right? So you want to make sure that you bring them good deals. You want to make sure that you bring them good people. Try to vet them. Do the homework a little bit. You don't want to waste your lender's time because time is money, right? So just understand what the deals are before you even reach out to a lender. If you're uncomfortable, reach out to us. We could try to do what we can to help you out. Um, and then we can take it from there. The best thing I would say, Chris, this helped me a lot in the beginning stages. If somebody's asking you for lending, act as if it was your money that you were lending to them. If somebody was asking you for $50,000, what questions would you ask them? If you don't know who they are and they're asking you for 50 grand,
Yeah.
sell me. Convince me to give you my $50,000. And if they
Okay.
got you convinced, what do you think the next step is? Go to a lender. If they don't have you convinced to lend $50,000 of my personal money, don't go to a lender. If they couldn't convince you, what makes you think it's going to convince them? That's the best way to look at this. It's the best way to that I did it, and I've been able to protect money since that. And there's just a change of my mindset of how I looked upon other people's money was exactly as if it was my own.
Okay.
All
And
The
right.
way to look at
and
it.
also one thing I want to ask though, Sergio, how are we going to ask them for collateral? So like if I were to lend you money, well,
Yeah.
if you're like what if I don't get paid? What happens if you don't pay me back or deal doesn't close, I'm not getting paid. So what is the collateral? Like a Rolex or a Lamborghini or a
Hey, it
yacht?
happens. I know people that do that.
What should Chris ask?
Should I ask them like basically what can you show in collateral or what can you put up?
Yeah, do you have any assets? What do you have to protect this? If aliens abducted the person, how are you gonna get your money back? You need protection, right? You gotta have some type of protection. So again, treat it like it's your own money. I hope I was able to help. All right,
Yeah.
let's bring some
Rovan,
Ruben in here. Yeah,
Rovan,
I'm
are you
right
ready?
here. I'm right here.
there you go. It's your
Yes,
time to shine.
Perfect.
How's it going, buddy?
I'm good. Thanks again for having me. And
That's not a problem. What do you got for me?
uh, I'm from the Caribbean. I've been interested in real estate in America for a while now. And it wasn't recently until I came across this YouTube channel. I learned about bird dog and other things. And I decided to take a little more action and join the Facebook group, learn, and try connect with more people in the space.
Sorry, buddy, you're cutting out like a lot. But I kind of made out what you were saying. Um, you're just trying to get into the space. You're trying to learn. I think you mentioned something about bird dogging that you're trying to get into. And you kind of want to know is where to get started. Did I get that right?
Yes.
Okay, awesome,
Yes.
awesome. Okay, I'm gonna try and keep the questions simple because of how much you're cutting out. So, are you familiar with any of the real estate terms when it comes to creative finance?
Not as
Not
much. I
really?
just
No?
started to
Okay.
learn a little more.
All right. I'm gonna give you some homework, and this is free for everybody. Go to YouTube, and you are going to type in creative finance through Pace Morby. You can learn so much from his YouTube channels. The only thing that we benefit people like myself that are in his paid community is we have the resources and the networking. That's something that I have access to that everybody that is involved in my space and coming on here, this is where I'm trying to help you guys and give you guys the resources that I have. Use the free YouTube channels, understand the lingo, the terms, all that kind of stuff. Once you feel comfortable and you understand how this kind of works, just enough to understand that if somebody were to call you and say, "Hey, I have a house for sale. It's been on the market for X amount of days. I don't know what to do," and you now feel confident enough to say, "I know creative finance, and I know that you actually could sell it this way. I know that there's subject to. I know that there's seller finance if you have equity." If you understand that kind of stuff and you could put yourself on a phone call to have that kind of discussion, then we'll go to the next step. And then I could get you to get on some calls. You could bird dog for me. You could bird dog for other buyers. All right.
But
All
bird
right. There.
dogging, we were talking about reverse engineer though. Remember, Rovan? We talk about you got to
Yeah.
find the buyer first. But then the question goes back to you can talk to so many sellers, but when you don't have a buyer, what's the point of having a seller or having a property? What can you do with it? Do you want to wholesale it? But then if wholesale, you got to have the EMD, which is the deposit, which most of the time is non-refundable. Are you willing to risk it? Because as a bird dog, you can connect yourself with lots of wholesaler and then you find yourself a buyer. Then you can reverse your way, like, hey, you know what? I want to buy a single family home in Ohio, entry fee $30,000. You now know my buy box. So now you can either reach out to Sergio or whoever they have connected with, or asking, hey, I have a buyer looking for this and that. Anyone has these properties on hand under contract right now because when they don't have it under contract, it means it's floating in the market. So by the time you talk to the buyer or investors, the property could be gone. So you want to have someone has a property under their name already and can just close a transaction directly with you. You don't want to risk talking to a buyer or investor like, hey, you know what? I found your property. And then 2 days later, it's poof, it's gone because they don't have it under contract.
You got it. Yeah.
Understood.
So I would do that because bird dogs, we can always use a lot of bird dogs. I got a lot of buyers and like we're buying lots of properties per month, right? So every state, like we're almost in, I would say 10 states already.
To be honest, the pace videos them are already the bird dog playlist he have.
Bird dogging is not just pulling a list that's for sale on market and saying, here's one in Dallas, because there's 30,000 of them on Zillow. All right, you got a pen ready to write this down? Okay, you're going
Yes.
to put 500 to $700,000 purchase price. All right,
Yeah.
35 to 50,000 K entry, 5% or lower interest rate. That is specifically to a subject to property. I do not want cash. I do not want seller finance. I am only looking and asking for subject to in DFW. That is Dallas, Fort Worth, Texas. Single family property. So I'm going to ask you a question, Ruben. If you find a property that is $350,000 purchase price and they owe 325,000 on the mortgage. Okay. There's $25,000 of equity. equity. Is that a lead for me?
Yes,
Why?
because your regular purchase price is 500 to 700K, and this one
Uh,
is 300, and they they have a pain point where they don't have much equity in the property. So
Okay, I understand where you're going for this, but this is where I need you to understand. Stick to exactly what we're looking for. 500 to 700 purchase price. There's a reason for that. We don't want you looking under. I'm not to say that's not a good deal. That's probably a good deal, exactly for the reason that you
yeah,
said, because they have little to no equity. They actually have zero equity in that property. If it's
mhm.
being listed for 350 and they owe 325 on the mortgage, do you think they have equity? No,
No,
they don't. They're probably owing money because they have realtor fees, closing costs, all the other stuff. So they're actually going to have to be bringing a check to the table to close that property. And that's if they sell it for 350, right? So I'm not to say that's not a deal. I'm just saying that's not what we're looking for. But that is a potential to a great subject to where you can actually take that over for $0. Again, it depends on how you structure the deal. It all goes down to how you talk to them, how you present that to them, right? They don't know that. But when you start breaking the deal down to the seller and have them understand, well, yeah, you've been on the market for 90 days. You guys aren't dropping the price. Well, why aren't you guys dropping the price? Well, because they owe 325. And they know if they drop the price, they have no money. They have no money to pay the agent. The agent won't allow them to drop the price because how's the agent going to get paid? Right? So that would be a great deal to take over zero for $0. But the reason why I asked that question is because no, that's not what we're looking for. We want properties between 500 to 700. Pay attention to our entry, which is 35 to 55. There's a reason that we're asking that, and 5% rate and under. It's the percentage of the down payment. That's the reason why we're taking that over. We want to take over properties that don't have much equity in them at a high purchase price. Yeah. So what I'm trying to say to you is just please stay inside the box. That's actually a very small pool. Trust me. If you go on Zillow or whatever platform you want to use, when you start going through the filters and you go exactly specific to what I just told you, you'll see the number start from like 17,000. It'll go to 1,000 and a couple hundred. It'll go all the way down to like 10. But guess what? Those 10 are damn good leads, right? So
yes,
try
sir.
that out and let's see what you got for me. I'll give you a week. All right. Who's next?
So, Precious asked a few questions. When they ask for money, how long would you make them wait if they are wanting it right then and there? We don't obey. We don't work for them. They are the one needing the money. So why are we obligating? We are the buyer. We have the
Yeah.
money. We have the power. Whoever
Who's the
has the money
client?
has the power. I mean,
Exactly.
it sounds
Yes.
cliche, but it is so true. I always say we don't do urgent. We don't
Never.
do FOMO. If they want to sell the property so desperately, why? Because I'm worried that why do you want to get it off your head? Is it like the loan due or something's breaking or what is it? You don't let them control the process. Whoever has some money, control the narrative, control the process.
Yes.
And with
Well
gap
said.
funding, how long does it usually take to pay that back since they're only to cover mostly entry fees?
The gap funding is the next day. That is no, not even the next. That's the same day. Gap funding, the actual transactional lending, transactional funding, that is paid back the same day of closing. It's it's on a separate transaction.
What if they don't have any asset that equals to the value of the money they're wanting to borrow?
Gap funding is literally only used for transactional funding, which is for closing, helping deals get closed. So if there is a gap of an X amount of dollars missing at closing because you're short of $30,000 in order to get the deal like closed, that's transactional funding. That's gap funding. That's literally same day transaction stuff. What she's talking about was
Lending, yeah,
that's small private money lenders because he was talking
yeah.
about entry fees. And I'm just giving an example of people that lend on small amounts are typically transactional lending and gap funds for the transaction of the deal being closed.
We talked about collateral earlier because you were saying about assets, right? What asset do they have, right? If the alien abducted them, right? So
Yeah,
like, what if
that's
they don't
that's
have
going back
anything?
to PMLs, like private money lending on loans that are like within 12 months to 5 years. So that's where they're going to ask you what assets you have, what collateral you have, because they have to wait. They have to wait to get paid back. Transactional gap lending, that's literally the same day transaction.
Okay. So if they don't have asset, they
Good
can't.
luck. That's where a credit sponsor comes in. Well, again, no, that's a good question. If they don't have assets or they don't have anything collateral, well, that's where you're not going to get lending, but somebody can that you can reach out to, meaning that's where you go and JV with somebody, someone that has collateral, somebody that has assets, somebody that has credibility, credit sponsor.
Sponsoring. Yeah. David, are you able to speak?
You hear me?
Yes.
All right. I do have a couple questions. Primarily, do you deal with mostly single family homes or do you deal with multifamily homes as well?
So whatever makes money, then we'll just go. Like money is money, right?
Okay. Um, then I want to get into multifamily homes primarily. I do feel like it's the route I want to go. I do have eyes on a property in Flagstaff, Arizona. I've had my eyes on it for a while. It's been on Zillow probably about 6 months to a year by now.
Okay.
The prices haven't dropped very much, so I'm thinking the only possibility would be to subject to try to get into this property. I'm thinking, I'm not too sure. On top of it, I do have a personal reason why I want to go after this property. Is my daughter is going to college at NAU, and if I can get an apartment complex in Flagstaff, that might help out with tuition and all that kind of stuff. Um, I don't know what you guys would recommend. I'm not, I don't have the resources to find the owner's personal line. All I can get a hold of or see from Zillow is the realtor that's trying to sell it. I can't hear. Are you saying
Still
something?
listing?
Oh,
Is
okay.
it still listing on the market or is it like off the
Last I
market? Is it like
checked
long
was
days on the market?
you know what? I can find out right now.
How many units is it? I mean,
It's an 8 unit.
okay.
Sorry. Let me go on to my next question once I find this. Um, I currently live in a rental property, and
Mm-hmm.
I'm trying to see what would
Hello?
be the best way to
Hear
go
you.
after my.
That's all good. David, do you have the address? If you have the address, I'd be more than happy to set you up and getting you their number. Not the agents. I will give you the owner's number.
Private
Okay.
message me.
Yeah, but if you want to do this quickly, um, I just send me the information.
Yeah,
I will get
something.
you the number right now, and you can give them a
Yeah.
call. But you said this
Do
is
you
in
know how to?
Arizona, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so this is what this is what makes it funny. So Arizona is probably the easiest and the best place when it comes to creative finance. There's probably no more traditional lending or no traditional mortgages in Arizona anymore because of Pace Morby. It's a good thing. It's a good thing. Well, that's
Okay.
because that's his home base. That's where he's from. This is where it all
Yeah.
started. Every single damn agent knows creative finance there. And it is a blessing for anybody that's trying to do it because it's just that much easier. Now, here's the downfall. You're saying that this property's been listed for a while, right? And it
Yeah.
hasn't been brought down. That scares me because Pace has stressed enough, going back to what Precious actually said earlier, of properties that have been sitting for 90 days plus. You don't think the people in his community have already hit up that place since it's been listed for so long, and they've
Uh
already
huh.
talked to him and pitched to him and asked about creative finance? There's no way that he has not been presented with creative finance. There's a
Yeah.
reason why that is still available. because if no one in Pace's community was able to get this, there's something there. This is just kind of put it out there for you. So have an understanding and to also kind of prepare yourself to know what the potential outcome is going to be. Don't be surprised when they say, "Oh, we've already been presented this and we already said we don't want to do creative finance." Just be prepared. Now, what I
Yeah.
would suggest is you said your daughter's going to university, right?
Yep.
Start with that. Don't even talk about the asset. Don't even talk about the listing. Don't talk about numbers. Don't talk about anything about that. Talk about your daughter. Talk about her going to school. Talk about the area. Ask some questions. Get some feedback. Build a
Okay.
relationship. Because if he now understands where you're coming from as a father, right? He might relate and he might open the
Okay.
door for you. That creates a relationship between you and him
Okay.
and your daughter. And now he's probably going to be able to put your daughter in a place that he was able to give to her father, yourself, because of him. You don't think that's going to be a story that's going to want to sit with him, make him feel a bit better that he was actually the reason why he was able to help
Yeah.
you out, getting your daughter and all these other students into that place?
That
This is
make,
just my suggestion.
yeah, that
That's
makes
how
sense.
that's how I would start it off. I would not talk about numbers, not talk about the listing. Don't ask about why it's still available. Just say, hey, I came across this property. I keep driving by it because my daughter's going to the university close by, and I've seen this been listed, but I'm just curious as to like, what do you think about the area? I don't know if my daughter should go here and just start that. Just create a conversation, but not about the property.
Okay. So when I just looked it up, I noticed he actually split the property. It used to be 8 units. Now he split it to 4 and it's dropped substantially in money. And I think that's because he split it.
Okay, give me a second. I'm gonna do some homework here for you guys.
But originally when I was looking at it, it was 8 units for 3 mil. Now it's 4 units for 800,
Okay.
900.
Did you do underwriting on this one?
No, 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 no. This is I haven't contacted the owner or anything like that. This is me just being observant on Zillow
Okay.
and not knowing how to get in contact with the owner.
David, have you actually called the agent on this?
No, no, no. I haven't been able to.
No?
The agent himself. So spoke to a guy, and he says it was so. When I first got into this, I started making cold calls, going through Zillow, trying to get numbers and stuff like that. And I was recommended if you see the realtor, don't even try bothering to calling them because 9 times out of 10, usually they're gonna kick you out because they're gonna lose their commission. So then I started trying to figure out how I can get down to the homeowner's phone number, and that's the brick wall I've been hitting. I don't know how to get a hold of
You
that.
got it. I already sent it to Minnie.
Okay.
All right, but you've never
Okay.
called the agent yet?
No, sir.
Do you mind if I call the agent just to kind of get a feel for it? Like this, you
Hey,
actually can already know?
I'd love to learn.
All right, let's go. I'm gonna call him right now.
Okay.
But honestly,
So
don't call them. Let me call the agent first. Like this, you get a feel for it, okay?
okay.
Because
Okay.
it's always gonna come up. So this is a tricky thing is when the property is listed on market, they have an agent in place, right? And typically the owners, they don't want to even deal with anybody. They just say, hey, just talk to my agent. But
Yeah.
sometimes if you just call them, just have any conversation and just saying, hey, listen, like I'm just trying to get some feedback and this and that, my daughter, this and that. They won't even talk to you about the property. They won't tell you, well, I have an agent. They're just gonna have a conversation with you. You're not asking them about the property,
Yeah.
right?
Take your defenses
You're not
down right
asking about the
away.
property. So what am I need an agent for? I'm not looking to buy your place. I'm just trying to get some feedback. Like this place is close by to my daughter's university. I just want to know the area. And I'm looking
Okay.
for a place for my daughter. And I seen that this place is here. That's all. Well, it's actually for sale. Oh, no way. There's ways around having a conversation with the owner without getting the agent involved, right?
Okay. Understandable.
Because if you think about it, if you actually drive by the place, I don't know if there, but where I am here locally, on commercial buildings, apartments, condos that are being like rented or for lease, they'll literally have a sign outside that building saying for lease and then a number, and that number is the landlord, the owner, right? So who's to say that? Like, I'm just calling the number because I'm looking for a place for my daughter to stay, right?
Okay.
And you just build a conversation from there. That's it, right? So I'm
That
just
makes
saying,
sense.
like, there's ways to go around of getting the agent involved when it's an active listing. I'm just gonna try again one more time. Oh, okay, give me a sec, guys. I was muted there because I was talking about the address.
Okay. Um, I have another question. I'm currently renting a single family home, and I'm trying to see if there's any way that I can subject to get this home as my own, or how would I go about speaking to this owner, because they're currently going through a property management company. I haven't, or damn near never, been on time on my rent. So I'm worried that if I come and say, "Hey, I want to buy this place now, will you sell it to me subject to," or stuff like that, if they're gonna turn around like, "Oh, now you want to buy my place? I'm gonna jack up your rent." You know what I mean? What would you recommend in a situation something like that?
So you currently rent this place
Yes,
and you want to now buy it.
correct. Uh,
Okay. So I would not.
Primarily in hopes that it lowers my payment.
Okay. So I would not suggest you buying it because if you've already disclosed that you have missed payments in the past, correct? You're not the one to buy it. Now you're going to go and ask somebody to partner with you and buy it with you.
Okay.
And you can use someone, for example, so you can use somebody, for example, as a credit sponsor if you need one. Um, and they will literally just do it just to get you the deal, just to get you the property. And then at closing or after closing, they'll just transfer it right over to you.
Okay.
But
All
you're
right.
just
You
using them as
responsible
just
to buy
for their
home.
credibility.
Okay. So
Uh,
because I've been late on my payments, it will look bad if I go and try to buy this house then, right?
well, yeah, because if you're renting my property, right, and you missed a couple of payments, and then all of a sudden you say, "Hey, I want to buy this property off you," well, I'm just gonna laugh, right? No offense, I'm just gonna be like, "Well, how are you gonna buy my property if you
Yeah.
haven't been making my payments?"
Can you make
Right?
the payments right? Yeah. That's what I was
Right?
worried
So,
about.
no, no, hey, but again, like that's just the reality. That's just how things work. How
Understandable.
am I to know that you didn't get a job with more pay? How did I know? How do I know if you just won the lottery? I can't, like, I
Right?
can't, I don't know, right? But these are just the typical questions that we're going to ask coming from somebody who now all of a sudden wants to buy my property that they've been renting and have been able to make payments. Why do you want to buy this property anyways?
Primarily just to lower my payments. I'm assuming they haven't refinanced because they haven't raised the rent in probably about 2 years. So I'm assuming if I do a subject to and I point out all the flaws in this house, it has numerous plumbing issues, electrical
Don't do
issues,
that.
all that kind of stuff. No, don't
You're
do that.
burying, you're digging yourself a hole. So you're
Yeah.
asking them to sell their property to you, subject to a person who has missed their payments, and now you're just trash talking their property.
Okay.
How do you think that
Okay.
looks? Well, your terms are done in 2 months, and I need you out. Since my
Yeah.
property's got these issues, you can go somewhere else.
You're right.
Or I will be like, oh, that's not a problem. What's the issues? Sure, I'm going to get it fixed. And by the way, rent's going up. But how do you know that they would even sell it?
I don't. It's
You
just
don't.
a
Okay,
thought that has crossed my
fine.
mind.
That's just somewhere you could start. You could just literally start a question by like, hey, by the way, would you ever be interested in selling the property? What are they going to say?
Okay.
No. Okay. That's it. They they might just say, I don't know why. Well, I'm just wanting to know is if you'd be open to selling me your property, at least to own or something like that, because I like your property. You don't talk about these issues. You say, well,
Okay.
because I actually like it, and I just see myself actually living here long term, and I kind of want to keep this as my forever home. What does that do? Creates a relationship, makes them feel proud of themselves for having a nice home for you. Somebody wants to buy my house off me because they like it. It makes them feel like home. What do you think that's going to do? That's going to make them want to work with you now. Well, I
That makes
wasn't really
sense.
thinking about selling it, but now that you actually brought that up to me, I don't know, what were you thinking? Now the ball's in your court,
So it's
right?
always better to lift them up than scare them out, pretty much. That's because that was my thought. Like I was like, hey,
100%.
you're gonna come up with thousands of dollars of trying to fix his house. You better sell it now. But now I see what you're talking about. That
No,
makes sense.
you need them on your side. If you're trying to take somebody's property with terms, you better believe you want them on your side. You want them to work with you. So you got to talk high about the property. You got to talk about how much you like it and all these other good things, and just have them want to ask you, well, what were you thinking? And then that's when you can go to them and say, well, obviously, I can't go to the bank and get approved from a traditional mortgage. As you can see, that's exactly why I'm renting, or else I would have just bought a property right from the beginning. But I mean, since I'm here already paying rent, would you be open to doing something where I can lease to own or something like subject to? Well, what's subject to? Well, essentially, I can come in here and I can maybe give you money down. I could give you a small down payment, and I could take over your mortgage payments if you have a mortgage, because maybe they don't even have a mortgage, right? These are the
Okay.
questions and the conversations you have to find out, right? So subject to only
Okay.
works if they have a mortgage.
Okay.
Subject to is taking over someone's existing mortgage, right?
Uh
David,
huh.
I can help you out with this. I can find out if they have a mortgage. I have all these cool gadgets that will tell me their interest rate, their mortgage payments, if they have any tax liens, their property tax. I could find all this stuff out for you. So then we can really see as if you could go at it with a subject to,
Okay.
right? The best thing that would be is that they have no mortgage. That would be in your best interest because now they become the bank. If they
Okay.
own the property free and clear, you are now buying it off of them, off of their terms. So now you're kind of going to them for a mortgage. So let's say the property is worth 300,000 and they own it free and clear, right? You go to the bank, you got to put 20% down, right? And they're going to give it to you
Mm-hmm.
at 7%, 7% interest. And that's if you have good credit. If you don't have good credit, you're looking
Yeah.
at 11, 12 plus, right? If they own it free and clear, you can now tell them, well, I can give you 300 for the purchase price, but I can only give you 10% or maybe 5% down. If I give you 5 to 10% down, what can you do for me on payments? If they give you a stupid interest rate, you now have a monthly rent amount that you have been paying, right? And now you go and see with their terms and their interest rate what those monthly payments will be, and you now compare the two. If it's more than what you're paying now, you literally look at it and it's like, why would I do that? Why would I now ask to take over the property at your terms if I'm paying less now? I'll just stay
Mm-hmm.
renting it. That's okay. You have to now go back and forth and negotiate with them. You always got to take, but at the same time, make them feel better about what they're getting, right? So if they're going to get full purchase price, you need terms, right? They can't get purchase
Mm-hmm.
price and terms and a big down payment. What the hell are you getting
Yeah.
for
Right.
that, right? So it's whatever you can afford. It has to make sense. You got to underwrite this whole entire deal to even see if it makes sense, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because you have to now take into consideration when you're buying a property subject to or seller finance, you have now the seller finance terms, right? You got the interest, right? And then you got the
Mm-hmm.
bills. If that stuff is more, and if it adds to be more than what you're paying now in rent, why would you do that? It's got to make sense for you, and it also has to make him happy.
Okay.
Right. I will be more than happy to underwrite this with you if this is actually something that you want to pursue. If you need help with the lending, I can lend for you and we can make it happen. I actually would love to look at this commercial property with you. I just saw it. It's brand new. Like they just renovated this thing. I will definitely be more than happy to help you on that as well. If you need a partner on that, I'll partner on that with you as well. I have a question, Dave. Because you said you have been kind of following like the creative finance stuff, watching videos.
Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
Okay. Have you ever come across videos that talk about Morby method?
It sounds familiar. It really
It's all
does.
good. All right. It's okay. I'm currently negotiating with
Working.
the agent. She
Oh,
texted me
nice.
back. So
Nice.
we'll see what she says. And who knows, maybe you might not have to call the owner. But if it goes the way I'm trying to approach it, would be something that I would do a Morby method on, and I will go more into depth on that with you if it works.
Okay.
Yes. So just a really quick uh understanding on it. It's Morby method is when you
Uh-huh.
combine a DSCR loan and seller finance together.
Okay.
Okay, so you have is your traditional bank DSCR
Uh-huh.
with seller finance. That is a Morby method. All right, let me finish texting this person. All right, fingers crossed. Let's see if we can make something happen. And then also I'll see what I could do about your other property. Are you in Arizona?
Yes, sir.
Um, so why do you want this property if it has all these issues?
It's
Why not
easier
just get
at this point. You know what I mean?
yeah, but you're gonna have
It's
headaches. Why do you want to be an owner of a property that you already know you have to put work into it? Why?
honestly my dream in the long run is to completely build my own house with my own hands.
Doesn't have to be now though. You can do fix and flip later. Like seriously, why now when you have financial situation or challenges that requires
Yes.
your
Oh, okay.
attention? Like go with the
Okay.
easy route now,
Yeah,
and
why take in
Uh-huh.
other people's issues?
you
Don't
can
take on other
suffer
people's
later when you have
problems.
the money.
Don't take your property if it has problems. But I'm not to
Okay.
say walk away from it. Don't ever walk away from a deal. Don't ever walk away from money. But
Uh-huh.
don't take it for yourself. Have that conversation already. And if he's open to it, well, guess what? You now have a lead for another buyer, not you.
Okay.
Now go and sell this to somebody else. And now you just made money. Use that money that you just made on the assignment fee to put on a down payment on the other property that doesn't have any problems.
Okay.
You get what I'm saying? Don't overthink it. You're in a property that you could essentially convince your landlord to sell it to you, seller finance or subject to, right? Create good terms, underwrite it with me. We'll make sure that the numbers are very good and able to then sell it to an end buyer. Okay, again, this is just an example. You go and get this property that you currently live at, you get it under contract for numbers that are now going to be appealing to an end buyer. You now charge or put an assignment fee of $10,000. Okay, that $10,000 not coming out of your pocket. That $10,000 is going to come to you from the end buyer, the other investor that you're going to sell the property to. You then get that $10,000 and you are now going to put it towards a down payment on this other property that you just found that is in better condition. You now go look for a property that is less monthly payments than what you're paying now, plus you get in $10,000. You can actually get paid on the next property. You know that. You can actually go and find a property and actually get yourself paid to buy the property. There's options, man.
Honestly,
Good.
I would love to work with you.
You got 8 days to get a property. So either we're gonna get this commercial property or we're gonna get you another property for yourself. So we're gonna find out. Don't tell me here or write in the chat, but we're gonna find out what you pay now currently for rent. If you have
Okay.
any liquid, if you have any liquid cash, if not, that's okay. That's what we're here for. And then we're gonna see is what we're able to find for your budget, and then we're gonna go to work. Where are you actually in Arizona?
Avondale. So I'm about 10 miles maybe west of Phoenix.
Avondale. Okay, give me a second.
Yes.
Okay. If anybody else wants to hop in here to ask a question, Dave, I think we have good news. David, what was the price that you saw for the 8?
Originally, I think the highest I saw it was at 3 mil.
You never saw it at 1.7?
Well, no, I think you're right.
Uh-oh, I think she's going to get upset because it's actually listed differently on different platforms. When she split the asset into two fours rather than 1/8, she never changed the numbers of the units. She kept it at 8 units.
Okay. No, I was looking at. I think I was wrong. Right now, I'm looking at listed for sale at 425 for 1.8, or pretty much 1.9.
Okay. I'm just trying to get you some numbers here, David, just so that you can have some excitement going to bed. All right. So $540,000. Do you have $540,000, sir?
In
Because
my gold
that
pot at the end of the rainbow, I
because
do.
that's what we would need to bring to the table.
Let me
We've had a
try.
lot of investors making pretty strange, but now I know exactly why this property's been taking so long. It's the agent that's the problem. All right,
Yeah.
we're working this deal. Dave, leave this with me. I'm going to go to town on this. It looks like she kind of opened up a little bit now that I kind of have her understand that I'm a serious buyer. Um, I will back her up with, sorry, it's reading at the same time. I will show her proof of funds. I'll show her portfolios, other investments that I have. And like this, she just understands that I'm a serious buyer. I'm not here to waste her time, nor mine.
Yeah.
She is interested. She was just trying to tell me that people have wasted her time, sending her some weird offers. And again, this is exactly going back to why I told you, build a relationship. Forget about the deal. Forget about the numbers. Build a relationship. Let me build a relationship with the agent. You can build a relationship with the owner. Do whatever you want. They don't know that we're working together. I didn't even tell you that you have to even talk to the owner about the property, about the sale. You just want a conversation. Build a relationship. Find the motivation. What's the pain, right? This agent, which I already can see, she's gonna lose this listing again. So
Yeah.
she got to sell this property like now. And as long as I can have her feel comfortable knowing that I will pay her commission and she will not lose this deal, then that's fine. So typically what I do with agents that are stubborn like this is I'll hop on a call with them and I will ask them to tell me why doesn't this deal work for me? Tell me why I can't buy this. I need to understand is how can I not help you? Because I know I'm going to be your best and your only option. So tell me exactly why I can't make this work. And they will have no answer because I will have an answer for everything. I will have a solution for all the problems. Convince me, please. Convince me why this deal does not work for me. Right? And that's where they're going to be stuck because they're going to say this and that. Well, I have an answer for it all. I don't think she's even an agent now. Now I got to hop on a call. So when you're looking at commercial properties, you right away have to ask them for their P&Ls. So you got to ask for their P&Ls, their NOI, their documents. And this is her response. They do not have any of that stuff. They are just a family that
Wow.
manages it, been there for a long time. They said deposits are all over the place. That is a big red flag. This is never going to sell because they cannot justify how much money this brings in. What is the cap rate? Zero. You don't even know what the NOI is because they don't have anything to prove. So this deal is technically complete trash because they have nothing to back up. I don't even know if they've even rented this place out. So I don't know what she's trying to hide, but that response right there, she's gonna get a big page written back to her after I get off this. But there's no reason why any type of buyer or investor would ever buy a property that doesn't have any type of statements. Like they're better off to just list the property as new build, built March 2026. Why? Because they don't have rent rolls. They don't have P&L statements. This is a brand new asset. We don't have anything. That's what they should do. I need to know if I'm buying a property, especially a $1.8 million property, what is it going to bring me? How much am I going to make? These are the questions that we got to ask ourselves. It's like, why would I want to buy a property if I don't even know how much it's going to generate? So the reason why this is a red flag for me is because I have to go and apply for a DSCR loan. Like I said, it's an investment loan. What are they going to ask for? How much rent does this thing bring a month? That's how they're going to underwrite this deal, is knowing how much money it brings monthly. If I'm not able to even provide a damn statement with $0, no one's going to give me a loan. No one's going to even buy this. So this can either go either very, very well or very bad. Do you guys want some education on a call?
Yes, please.
Okay, I'm going to call an agent right now. So I just put in an offer on a property and I sent in a PSA. PSA is purchase sales agreement. And I am very surprised that this agent literally she just wrote back to me and said, I do not know what a DSCR loan is. What do you mean by that? Can you give me a call?
This is Susan.
Susan, how are you? It's Sergio. I'm good. Did I call you late? Is this a bad time? I'm so sorry. Honestly, I only got your email now. I apologize.
I just got my email, yeah, because I was just now trying to catch up with everything.
Oh,
Yeah. So yeah. So I wasn't real sure about
the DSCR. I'm actually a little bit surprised. I thought you for sure would have knew what the DSCR. If I knew that was kind of something new to you, I would have hopped on a call with you earlier. I'm glad you asked. So a DSCR loan is a typical, it's actually a bank loan it stands for debt service coverage ratio. And what it is, now you know what well,
recently, but now I know.
now you know debt service coverage ratio. So what that is only, okay, this is only a loan for investment properties only. This is not your typical traditional mortgage, but it is a bank. It is a bank loan that is specific for investment properties. The way you would get approved for this, or the way you would get eligible for this, is on investment properties, and they go based off of what the property brings monthly for rent. So they will go, yeah. So it's not to say that every property qualifies, right? And this is exactly why I was telling you earlier, it's hard for me to submit you guys numbers without actually knowing what it brings monthly rent. And at the same time, we actually would have to order an appraisal, because the appraiser is going to have to go there to determine the purchase price, I guess, what the price, what the property actually appraises for. So again, easy numbers. Let's just say that we send an appraisal out there. They go and appraise the property, and they say the property only appraises for $200,000. Now with the DSCR loan, depending on the credit score of the person who's buying the property, you're looking at about 75. This is the max they're going to loan is 75 LTV, which is loan to value off of the 200K. That's how much the bank is going to lend you on the DSCR loan. So they're only going to give you 75% of that loan to value, and now the buyer has to come up with the rest, right? So now the way an investor like myself would look at this is this would only work for us is if this would even cash flow. So again, determining on how much the property appraises for and what the rates would come at a 75% LTV, we now have to see is how much how much does a property actually rent for monthly? We're just, again, easy numbers, $2,000 a month. All right, well, we have a DSCR loan that we have to pay, let's say $1,500 at 6 to 7% interest rate. I then have the remaining of the gap, which would be the 25%, right? And then I still have the seller financing on the rest of the equity, right? So whatever they would have equity on the property would be the second seller financing note. So they would either go into second lien position or they would just go into a trust with me as a co-owner, so that they would be able to seller finance me. So now the way this would work is I have my DSCR loan, I have the seller financing, and then all of the other little tiny fees. If that's going to not come under the market rent, then it's going to be a bust for the investor. It won't make any sense. But if it comes under, then I guess that would be essentially our cash flow. That's how we would determine how much our cash flow would be. Now we would be able to determine whether the deal would work for us or not. If it doesn't, so this is why we underwrite, and this is why we kind of need to know the numbers, because let's say after all the loans, we're only able to get it to $2,200, but we're only able to get $2,000 for market rent. Well, we need to figure out how do we now bring this monthly price to come under 2,000. We're 200 short. We're negative 200 a month. Well, we would either have to go back on the purchase price, which we never want to do. We always want to give the sellers more money, or we go to what the first option I would do is back to the seller finance. I would go back to the seller finance and say, hey, listen, we need to knock down $200 a month. Are we able to either stretch out the balloon payment from 5 years to 7 years to make the payments lower? And can we drop the payments lower? Or we can defer the payments to 6 to 12 months. That would allow us to now put some money away, at least to cover the $200 extra that we would have to come up with. So this is just like a little bit of an idea for you to have an understanding of what type of loan and how I would do this. Again, this is the only way we would kind of structure deals like this for the seller to also walk away with a win. We don't want to lose money, nor do we want the sellers to lose money. We want everybody to take a win. And you have to remember too, is as a buyer, I always take care of the closing costs and your fee. So your fee also comes out of pocket that I have to make sure how long is it going to take for me to recoup that money.
Yeah.
Right. So
Yeah.
I hope that kind of explains a little better, and I would be again more than happy to explain this to them in person or over the phone, either or, just to have them have an understanding as to why this would be better for them rather than taking the cash offer. I really wouldn't want them to take the cash offer, even though it would be good for me. Like again, I just don't want to have them lose money. I'd rather give them the extra $40,000 on the purchase price rather than taking a $40,000 loss, right? I don't want, Susan, listen, I could just easily say, heck yeah, I'll take the cash offer. It's good for me, but I don't want to do that to the seller. I'd rather put more money in their pocket and get you paid on the commission. And like this, they're going to be walking away with money at closing. Plus they're going to be collecting a check every month.
Yeah, I'm not sure. I'll talk to them again, but they're older, and I'm not thinking they're going to be gung ho about owner financing any part of it. They do have a loan themselves to pay off that's $100,000.
Which that will be that. So that's what the DSCR loan's for. That's exactly why I could pay them exactly their asking price. The DSCR loan, I would be buying their purchase price like a traditional transaction. With a DSCR loan and the seller finance, at the closing, there's going to be two separate transactions. The first transaction is with my transactional lending plus the DSCR loan that covers the full purchase price and buys out their the first lien, which is their mortgage, the $100K that you're talking about. Then a second transaction happens after that, and that's where it opens their seller finance note, right? So now we're going to have is the purchase price of the 200 with their seller finance in it, and that's where the new mortgage comes in place. So their existing gets wiped out completely.
Yeah.
That's how we do this. That's it. They would just do their owner finance based on their equity. Like, for example, let's say $50,000 is their equity. The only thing that they would be seller financing is their equity. The rest is with me, is with my bank.
It's 28.
No, Susan. I'm just giving you easy numbers. I don't know what that. I'm just saying. I'm just as an example. If their equity is 50,000, yeah, I'm just saying as an example. If their equity is 50,000, there you go. So what you're saying is correct, but I don't know what the equity is, right? I'm just easy numbers here just to make it very simple. But yeah, so the new transaction, okay, would be my mortgage now, which is the 200, and their seller carry note in there, which would be, again, I'm just saying my 50,000.
Yeah. So let's see. So what you would have to determine is what you could lease it for.
Yeah, exactly. I would have to underwrite this to make sure that it works for all parties. This is where I would be able to say I can give you guys X amount of dollars at closing as your down payment, and then seller finance the remaining. Solar, yeah, that's gone. That will be taken care of.
Do you have? This is what I want to ask.
Yep.
Have a way to determine what it would lease for, or did you want me to send you like leases?
Yes. Yes. I would appreciate that. If you could do that, it would save me a lot of headaches. No, no, that's fine. I appreciate it. And again, listen, I like this is just one of many options. There's so many options and so many ways of taking this. And this is exactly why I genuinely love the creative way, is because if you're saying that they only owe 100K on their property, why not? And okay, I don't even know because I haven't gone deep into this. If they have a good interest rate, let's say 3%, 4%, I don't want to go to the bank. I want them to be my bank. I want to take over their existing mortgage because I'm never going to be able to see that rate ever again. So I would be more than.
They're waiting for it to go back down.
It's not going to happen. It's not going to happen. So that's exactly why I would just be more than happy to lease as a buyer to seller. Let me just buy your rate off of you, and I will take over your mortgage payments, and I will still pay you on your equity. So again, easy numbers. They owe 100, and they have 100 equity. I will tell them to say, hey, I will pay you $100,000 right now, which is their equity, and just give me your mortgage payments because I want to keep your interest rate. And then they just walk. And like that, now they walk, but I keep their mortgage rate. This is another option. This, like, Susan, there's lots of ways of doing this, and that's just one of many.
Yeah.
So,
well, see what I can do. First of all, I need to find out if they have like an FHA and.
Oh, we work around everything. It's called the trust. It's called the trust fund. If we have to do that, we put it into trust, and I buy that trust off of them. I'm the guy for all of this. But bring me more. I appreciate it. Bring me more, please. I would love to do more deals with you. And like I said, I have the other one in Cyprus that I would love to have you sell for me.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay.
Do you want me to list it though?
I do.
Okay.
Whatever you want to do, I leave it with you. Regardless, I'm paying you for it. So, all right. But I will let you get some rest, and I apologize for calling you so late. All right. We'll talk soon. All right, Susan. Take care. Bye-bye. Okay. And that's how it is, guys. Appreciate you guys listening. I got another call. I got David's agent. Uno momento, guys. Pause. She called me because I didn't text her back. Hey Rosa, how are you? I appreciate you doing that. Okay.
Of the unit.
Okay.
About 5 years, just ago, 4 or 5 years ago, and then they just repainted, put a new electrical on. So they have like some pretty big deductions.
Oh, I could see that, and I wouldn't be surprised either because based off the pictures, this thing looked brand new to me.
Yeah, it is 70, so at a people level, they're able to measure one box. So,
Okay. So now the only issue I'm having with here because the property is nice, honestly, and the thing is like I'm looking at this property with my partner because my partner, I believe his daughter's going to the university that's close by, and we were just driving by in the area and we just seen this place, and that's why I had those questions that I sent you earlier. Now my thing here is when I have to go and bring this to my lenders right away, the first thing they're going to ask me is how much money does it bring monthly, right? Because yeah. So which which is fine. It's fine as long as I have something to show, then that's okay because like the lenders that I work with and I have relationships with, they know and they understand how the commercial investments work and how we're able to increase rents and so on. So the over the time it's going to appreciate. They understand that. But if I'm able to have something to submit, that would be great. If I don't, it's going to be very difficult for me to get pre-approved on this.
we've had so many offers on that. It's been like, yeah, it's just been tough because the rent is low, and even if you were to put it at market rent, which is like a minimum of 1,500,
Yeah.
then it's still like a little bit tricky. Their utilities for everything, so they just pay the water, the city sewer, and the trash.
Okay.
And together, like I want to say 600-ish a month for that, and then that's pretty much it. Then the tenants pay the rest. But yeah, like even after $600, people are having a hard time getting it cash flowing. So, you know.
That's okay, but that's where I come in because I love assets like this that make it challenging because there's always a way. There is always a way to make it work as long. So it all really comes down to the sellers on this property, and as long as they're willing and open to doing something on terms, we can always come up with the down payment. But again, if they are stuck and this property has been sitting for some time and they're not able to move, well, we have to underwrite this and figure out what it is and how can we get this to work for all parties. Like we're not going to go and buy a property that's going to be negative cash flowing, right? So we will be able to underwrite it where again, like I said, I can give them their full asking price. Okay. And then we will be able to underwrite it and see how much we can give down payment. I'm not telling you I'm going to give them 10%. I'm already going to try, like I said, and offer you guys 20 to 30% down payment. When I go and underwrite this, as you're saying, it's probably already not going to work. That's fine. Well, that's where we then go to the seller and say, hey, listen, we're giving you 30% down. We're giving you full asking price. We're going to now carry this seller finance note on these terms, and they got to hit these numbers in order for any of us to cash flow. Because this, as a seller, they don't want to see us take a negative because they're going to now have us default. We don't want to default payments. We want to make sure that we're able to fulfill our requirements so that we're able to buy them out after the 3 years, 5 years, whatever it is, right? So I'm not saying that I don't want this to work. I'm trying to see is how can we make this work? Get your
It's very similar,
Yeah.
everyone's related to cash flow, and they're just wanting to be done, which is why they reduced it from the 8 units because everyone was having a hard time. But they've put good offers. I mean, they have 1.7 cash, but they turned it down at that time because
call them back. Call those buyers back then. If they were offering 1.7, call them back. That's a good deal. I would not walk away from that.
I'm just giving you
Oh,
so that he owns it free and clear. He doesn't need to sell it. He would like to sell it to do something else.
I will give you 50%. If he owns it free and clear, and you can show and you guys can prove that he owns it free and clear, I'd be more than happy to give him 50% down payment. And 100%. I'm not, Rosa. I'm not here to waste your time. I promise you. And I genuinely feel I apologize ahead of time for any investor that has wasted yours and your seller's time. That's not my goal here. I wouldn't even have answered this call if I wasn't even sure I want to make this work. But I genuinely like the property. The location is perfect. I want to put my partner's daughter in this unit because she's going to the university close by. So we're willing to make this work, and we will underwrite this as many times as we need to make it happen. I'm not saying that I'm going to be like all the other investors where it didn't work. We will do what we have to do, our due diligence and so on, to make this happen. And I'm just trying to ask you is if 30 to 50% down payment is enough to have some type of interest where the seller is now going to say, hey, you know what? Let's talk. Let's see what we have here, what we got to work with. That's all I'm asking for. I don't want to waste my time trying to underwrite something that they won't even be open to it.
That I think he would be open to it or to carry. It's just like the following terms. Like we've had, just for your knowledge, like other investors that are offering, down, your balloon at 0% interest, 2%
Ew.
interest, or something like that. And it's like, well,
Dreaming.
want to do something really tricky, but there's like an LLC and like everybody's on the LLC with the seller, and he's just like, no, I just want to be like done with it. So that was the whole thing. It's like everything's too personal.
Yeah, he does. He doesn't want to be tied to it. He doesn't want to be responsible. I get it. He's a tired landlord. I get it. Oh, that's frustrating. Yeah, I get it.
Wrong time too, and that's what WhatsApp is, and how expensive it is, and the rents are here, that's pretty high.
Okay.
So, it's just going to take someone that can overlook, I think, like making a good profit for X amount of years, because if you add in like property management fees, like maybe if your partner's daughter, like a lot of parents do, have her manage the other units or something like that. Like,
Yeah, my partner actually is. He actually mentioned that he was even thinking about operating himself, and again, that will bring the expenses a lot lower than what they need to, right? So, exactly. I would appreciate that. That would mean a lot for us. But okay, one more question then for you. What other properties do you have? Do you have any other listings? Single family. I'm just trying to look for a couple of more single family properties. We're trying to look for 2 more properties by the end of this month to get. So if you have any single families.
buy something else. That was 120. Which is a really nice house. It's priced at 750, 3-car garage.
Okay.
Near NAU.
Ooh.
Level.
Okay.
And then I have like a little cabin out in the park. So it's priced at $619. 2-bedroom, 2-bath, and a loft. I think that's 120. And then out in Dobie Park, which is kind of east horse property, east of Flag.
Okay.
Really pretty house. They need to buy something else because they want to move out of state, or they need to sell it so they can buy something else out of state. And they did a really beautiful remodel on the inside. That was priced at $788. We have it at with that.
I'm curious. I'm curious to see what you think is pretty. I was gonna say, how about I give you my email? Can I send you my email and then you can send me all of this stuff to me?
I'll have to fix it so
I appreciate it. Okay, I will let you go. I don't want to take up any more of your Friday night. And we will circle back. All right, I appreciate it. Thanks so much. Have a good one. Bye. All right. So, David, what do you think?
That's nuts, dude. Both ladies were like, no, no, giving you all kinds of drama. You're just like,
But you
why?
see
I'm
how
doing
after
films.
they kind of tone it down, and all of a sudden now they want to work with you?
Yeah. Dude, that was nuts.
All right. Guys, I I gotta
This is the
go. I
longest
didn't
call.
realize what time it was. I appreciate everybody. No,
You got
honestly,
too
it's
excited.
a good way to end the Friday night. This was
Yeah,
actually a
love
really
that.
good call. I hope a lot of you guys were able to take some notes on this and understand. Like, guys, this is literally what I do. I enjoy it. So yeah, let me help you guys out. Don't worry about the money. Just bring them over to me.
Bring us
I
the
will help
deal.
you guys out. Like, look, David, you thought this was not going to even happen. And now it's in negotiations. She literally said he is not interested. We do not want to do this, blah, 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 and just objection after objection. And all of a sudden now, yeah, you know what? I think he would actually be interested. Just yeah, submit like you don't ever, 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 ever take no for an answer. Tell me why I can't. Tell me why this ain't gonna work for me. Like she doesn't like. Anyways, guys, I appreciate you everybody for showing up today. Have a good night,
Yeah.
guys.